In the last video, we created a user from the back office. In this video, we are going to cover the default user groups and how to create new ones. A user group is a way to give users access only to the content they need to manage. Creating or assigning user groups can be a great way of keeping track of what users have access to in the back office. Each user may have a different responsibility depending on their role. Let's look at the default user groups available in the back office. In the Users section, click the Groups tab up here. By default, the user groups available to new users are administrators, editors, sensitive data, translators, and writers. Let's look at these user groups in detail. First up is administrators. Administrators have access to everything in the back office. They have access to all the sections of the back office and have all the required permissions to perform any action in the back office. Next is editors. Editors can only access and work in the content, media, and forms section of the back office. They have permissions to restrict public access, roll back, browse notes, create content template, delete, create, publish notes, unpublish notes, restore data, update notes, copy notes, move and sort order for the notes. Editors can create and publish content items or notes on website without approval from others. Next up is the sensitive data user group. Any users added to this user group will have access to view any data marked as sensitive. As you can see, by default, the user does not have access to any sections of the back office unless the sections are added in here. Similarly, the user will not be able to perform any actions unless it's enabled here. Moving on to Translator user group. Translators are used for translating your website and have access to the translation section of the back office. Translators are allowed to browse and update notes as well as grant dashboard access. Translation of site pages must be reviewed by others before it's published. And finally, we have the Writers user group. Writers have access only to the content section of the back office. Writers are allowed to browse notes, create notes, request for approval before publishing the item, and update notes. Writers cannot publish their content directly because we don't want them to make direct updates to a site without going through the workflow or approval process. You can also create your own custom user groups and add properties and tabs as you would with document types and member types. Let's say we want to add a developer user group. We'll click on the Create Group button, and here we can add some basic information about the user group and customize its properties. So we'll call this user group Developer. Now let's add sections the users in this group will have access to. Let's click on Add, and we'll select Content, Media, Packages, and Deploy. Let's click Submit. We'll now assign the start notes as Content and Media respectively. And we'll set some default permissions as well. So I'll just enable a few of these. Yeah, just one more. Cool. In the granular permission section, we can define a specific node the users in the group should have access to. So I'll select the home node and I'll leave these permissions as it is and click on Submit. Finally, we can add users to the new group. You can add a user to your user group only when the user is created or invited. So I'm going to select Jack Smith and click Submit. Cool. I think everything looks good here. So let's hit on Save. And we have a new user group created here. If you go back, you'll notice that Developer is now added to the list of our user groups. Now let's take a look at these user groups in action. If you go back to the User section, you'll notice that since I'm an administrator, I can pretty much view all the sections of the back office. But what happens if I log in as a developer? Let's log in as Jack and take a look. I am now logged in as Jack Smith. And as you can see, Jack has access to content, media, packages, forms, and deploy section of the back office. But wait, we didn't provide developer user group access to the forms section. Also, Jack has access only to the products content node and not the entire content section as defined for the developer user group. So what has happened and why is it different? We'll take a look at it in the next video where we'll cover user permissions. So, in this video, we covered the default user groups in Umbraco, how to create new user groups, and assign a user to a user group. In the next video, we'll look at user permissions. See you in the next one.